Hi, I'm attorney Vic Monder. I'm making this video for people who are seeking a certificate of rehabilitation, which is the precursor to getting a governor's pardon in your case. Oftentimes people seek certificate of rehabilitations in an attempt to clear their record. Oftentimes you'd have to be subject to some sort of prison commit. It's not a probationary sort of action you would be taking with the court. You would have to be at least 5 years off of parole, and at the earliest you can file for your certificate of rehabilitation. It is a lengthy process. So typically a certificate of rehabilitation can take up to 6 months to be granted by the court, and then the court on their own will be filing for your request for a pardon through the governor's office. So oftentimes the precursor and the preliminary stages to getting to that governor's pardon would have to be filing a certificate of rehabilitation, only if you were subject to prison. Prison commits, depending on how lengthy those prison commits are and how successful you were on the parole side of things, would definitely make a significant difference in whether or not the court will grant the certificate of rehabilitation. Oftentimes you are required under the rules of the certificate of rehabilitation application process to be a resident of San Diego. So you have to have ties to San Diego. You have to provide information as to where you live, if you own any property, your bank statements, if you're receiving any benefits. They spend quite a bit of time from the district attorney's office investigating all assets, all liabilities, everything that you've been doing in your life. If it's work or school, whatever that may be, they will be following up with everyone to make a recommendation to the court as to whether or not they're going to concede and agree to the certificate of rehabilitation, or if they're going to object to it at the court proceedings. Oftentimes the district attorney's office will agree if they tie up any kind of loose ends during the application process. We help through that application itself. We provide the district attorney's office everything that they need in order to process those claims quicker. You have to understand the application itself. It may take a minimum of 6 months before you get in front of a judge for them to hear the certificate of rehabilitation, for it to move past the courts and onto the governor's office for a potential pardon in the future. You have to understand also that the certificate of rehabilitation itself, that is just the beginning stages. So once you fill out the application, you work with the attorney and try and submitting all the necessary documents. Then if it is objected to, then you would be filing a motion with the court as to the reasons why the certificate of rehabilitation should be granted in your favor. So oftentimes it is good to have an attorney go through that application with you, even if it is something that you want the attorney to at least supervise while you complete it on your own, to make sure that you're covering all bases of the certificate of rehabilitation. And then from there, once it's filed or submitted to the district attorney and the court, the attorney can have an opportunity to talk to the DA's office to get their own insight as to how the investigation process is going to be unfolding. So it may be in your best interest. Contact me. I can walk you through the process and let you know what's necessary, and through my experience, how the judges in San Diego Superior Court will either consider granting your particular motion for a certificate of rehabilitation. Oftentimes the judges who handle these cases, Judge Gill is the one who typically handles these cases here in San Diego, and he's been pretty fair when it comes to granting these sort of petitions in order to get them moving along the process to the governor's office for a pardon. So if you have questions, give me a call, 619-405-0063. I'm more than happy to chat with you about your certificate of rehabilitation and also helping you through that process. Again, I'm attorney Vic Monder. Reach me anytime. I'm available 24/7. Talk to you soon.